So I think in today's ever-changing privacy world, clean rooms are essential, right? We're getting to a point where all the identifiers that we relied on for years and really built a lot of the digital businesses on are going away. First it's cookies, pretty soon it's going to be IP addresses and device IDs and other things. So we have to have some sort of privacy compliant manner to be able to share data, to be able to utilize data, and to be able to effectively just grow revenue on the data that we have. And clean rooms look to be the solution that the industry is coming forward.
So essentially the notion here is data collaboration without data distribution. Is that how you think about it?
That's how I think about it, but it's funny. When you look at a lot of clean rooms, you look behind the scenes and the first step is move your data over to our clean room technology. And to me, that's like the starting point of what we're trying to get away from. So I've seen a lot of new technologies out there that allow you to keep the data in the various different data warehouses, data sanctuaries is a new term I'm hearing, that you already have it in, and be able to layer on some of the clean room technology on top of that to be able to like I said, in a privacy compliant manner, share that data.
Right, without moving it.
Without moving it. That is the key thing, without moving it. Stays within our walls. Our legal team is very happy to hear that.
So then let's talk about the use cases that you felt like were important to be able to enable to grow and sustain your business.
Yep. So I think one thing is taking our internal data and from the various sources that we have and bringing it all together. So that primary use case is just from a aggregation standpoint for us. Then we bring in partners that we've agreed to work with, and a lot of partners nowadays, a lot of agencies, a lot of holding companies have invested in their own data companies. So they have their own ID spaces that they want to bring to the mix, and they want to see the return on investment for their IDs. So using the clean room, being able to bring that together in a way that, once again, our legal team is happy to, I shouldn't say happy, I gotta be careful with legal. Legal team is okay with us being able to share and permission the data, permission the views of that data. And I think that's the key thing. It's not just that you're permissioning all the data, it's you're getting an opportunity to permission what you want them to see, what you want them to utilize, and you may be able to do this for different clients as well. Client A, you may be able to open up this much because you have a trusted relationship. Client B, you may only want to do this much. So I think that's one of the cool things about clean rooms. One of the cool use cases of just bringing it all together and really having that flexibility to do what you need and do what your business needs with that data.
Are people ready for this? I mean, do you feel like, maturity curve-wise, where are we?
So I think, like everything in our industry, it always seems like we're on the cusp of maturity and then we just get there, right? I still think we're like a few years into that early maturity piece. And I say that because one of the big things with clean rooms that I always speak to whenever I met with a vendor is, who else is participating in your clean room? Clean rooms are only as good as the participation you have. So if you're pitching me very hard and none of my agency partners are there, none of my distribution partners are there, I'm like, look, you may have the greatest technology, but if no one's playing in your sandbox, I can't really do much with it. So that participation by far is one of the key things. And I think to your question around maturity, folks are getting there. Folks have their data, they are protective of their data, and now they're trying to figure out where to put it to be able to utilize it best.
So would you say that the technical capabilities of clean rooms, we spoke about this a little bit at the beginning, are as mature as they need to be? Or is that also something that's a maturity curve? I
think they will only be as mature as they need to be if privacy laws stop changing. And that's never going to be the case, right? So I think it's a current, and it's no different from, look, is digital where it needs to be? No, consumption patterns are going to change just as a viewer changes their consumption patterns. Privacy laws are going to change how we use clean rooms. So they always have to stay on the ball. They always have to make sure and help us as a client make sure that, well, CCPA and now CPRA, hey, look, we're don't worry, guys. We're helping you make sure that the data that we have, the data that we expose, the data that we utilize is done in a privacy compliant manner. And I've said that a million times, but I think it's important to stress because every state is changing. And as every state lays out their laws, you want your technology providers, especially the ones that house your data, to fall in line with that and help you get to where you need to be.
You know, that hasn't come up that much, but it should come up a lot.
Absolutely.
I mean, that sort of complexity but importance of sort of managing to a very complicated privacy landscape.
Yeah. That will not change. I think it's going to continue to evolve. Hopefully, knock on wood, at some point we have a national standard that we have to follow, but I think it's going to take quite a while for us to get there. And we're going to be in a spot where we're managing 25 different state regulations, and we need our technology partners to be in that mix with us and help us get there.
So talk about some cool collaborations that you guys are bringing to life with your agency partners or your brand partners, other publishers.
Yep. So I think one of the most standard basic use cases that we've seen is us bringing impression-based data, clients bringing transaction data, and being able to match that and see, okay, out of their client base, who has done what, where have they fallen off in the funnel, where have they continued on, who should we market or retarget for a new activation of a new product, and really this helps the client better utilize their data. They know when they were exposed, they know how they were exposed, they know what creative they were exposed to, and they know the actions that they took down the line. So bringing all that data into a clean room and being able to look at those analytics, I think is incredibly helpful for a client. I think one of the other key use cases is on the measurement side, right? Measurement is constantly changing right now. We're in this new alt currency world where there are a lot of different players. And I think most agencies and most programmers and publishers are still looking at, hey, look, which measurement company is going to work best for us, right? So being able to pull in those measurement companies into your clean room, pull in your ad server log files, your transactional log files into that clean room, and get a better mapping of, hey, look, where do I stack and rack with each one of these currency providers, measurement providers, and maybe these are the ones I want to go with. Now, at Fox, we always believe that we're gonna appeal to the client. We're gonna help the client. The client's gonna dictate where they want to go, what partners they want to use. So we're gonna be open and agnostic to all of that. But I think it's great for us to be able to come forward and say, look, we've already done some of this pre-research. We already know where we stack and rack with, some of these agency providers, measurement providers, and yeah, here we are, client. We can help you guys get to the answer that much quicker.
It's interesting. Dana from Disney talked about being almost having to be a consultancy in this new world.
Yeah.
Do you find that that's true, that you sort of are playing more of a consultative role with your customers?
Absolutely. I mean, we're never going to be a kingmaker. That's not the role we want to be. We want to reduce the friction for transactions, the friction for buying on Fox. So we're going to essentially, like you said, be a consultant to say, look, here's what we've seen that works well for clients in your specific industry category. Here's where we've seen success with other currency models, measurement models, et cetera, and provide all that back to the client. If they want to follow, one way or another, either way, we're happy to meet their needs. But to your point, I definitely think we act as a consultant and say, look, this is where the industry is going. This is where Fox is going. Hey, come along with this journey with us.